What's up, my people? It is so good to be back with you guys talking about a Broncos football game. Even though it was preseason, even though there was a lot of bad things that happened within the game, there were a lot of positives, and we're going to break it all down, man, as the Broncos destroyed the 49ers 30-9. Now, obviously, we know the final score does not matter, and let's be honest, the first team, offense and defense, both struggled. Sean Payton said it was average to below average. I think it was more on the below average side. But nothing to really panic about because we know preseason games are all about fine-tuning things, and it's really for those bottom of the roster depth guys. And what the Broncos did show is that our roster is loaded at depth positions a lot. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. Let me know your comments about the game below, man. Like and subscribe if you're not already. And let's dive right into all this stuff. So here's the box score, man. We'll just go over some of the numbers. Jarrett Stidham balled out tonight, by the way. 14 of 15, 136 yards yesterday, 2 touchdowns. He did take 2 sacks. Sam Ehlinger came in 6 of 10, 55 yards and a tutty. And as you saw, Bo Nix, 6 for 11, 31 yards, and what ended up being 3 possessions. Definitely struggled a little bit. We'll break that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Jarrett Stidham was also the leading rusher, man. 3 rushes, 36 yards for him. Tyler Badie, 5 for 32. Blake Watson, RJ Harvey, you can go down the list there. As a team, 34 carries, 153 yards in total. So not awful, not bad. There was definitely some good and some bad there. And then on the receiving end, shout out to Trent Sherfield, man. We're going to highlight him. He balled out, 3 catches, 73 yards, and a beautiful 36-yard touchdown. And then a couple other guys I want to highlight, man. Look at your boy Kroll, right? 1 catch, 1 touchdown. Caden pre-scoring again, 1 catch, 1 touchdown. And then pretty pedestrian, really, from everybody else as they kind of spread it all around. Broncos defense, they did come up with 3 sacks. The weird thing is it only shows 2 players on here. I think Nick Bonito had 2. He basically blew up an entire drive by himself. John Franklin Myers scored, but I did believe that I think Andrew Farmer should be credited with a sack as well when going through it. And then 3 interceptions. Karine Reed with a beautiful pick. Jaquan McMillan just doing his thing, always getting the crazy interceptions. And Joshua Pickett, we got to talk about him, and we got to talk about another guy as well. So overall, very, very interesting game. Now, here's my thing about some of the takeaways, right? My takeaways from the game are this. I think that when you look at the first team offense, first team defense, yes, it was definitely disappointing. The first team defense probably less so because really that first drive, it was like, they did okay. It was really good coverage on the long completion, down the seam. It was just a, perfect throw and catch. Those kinds of things happen. And then the touchdown at the end was, they just completely missed an absolutely horrible holding call. But nonetheless, they did not look good. But they did come out in the second and the third possessions and absolutely dominate. Second possession, Nick Bonito just basically took over. He blew up 3 straight plays by himself. And they looked a lot better in the third possession as well. The first team offense, it was interesting, man, because when I went back and looked at it, it was almost like they were trying to run a lot of things that they were not used to running or not really running a lot of last year, which is what the purpose of the preseason and really the entirety of the offseason is. It's all about trying to figure some things out, right? I thought Bo, for the most part, was decently sharp. He had a couple of underthrows, though, which were bad. The one to Troy Franklin, I'm trying to remember, kind of streaming across from left to right towards the corner. He underthrew that one a little bit. And then the deep shot to Cortland Sutton, which I didn't like the play call in general, but he could have put that up a little bit more for Court there. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that it's hard to grade on. You look at the safety that was taken because he didn't get the ball back past the line of scrimmage. Here's some things. So it could have been him that got the protection wrong and caused J.K. Dobbins to protect to the right rather than to the left where the free blitzer was coming. Or it could have been that was JK's mistake. Nonetheless, I'd like to see Bo Nix step up in that pocket, not do any more of the drifting and the twirling. Now, we've seen him pull that off a lot and be able to buy himself some time, but he does need to make it more of a habit of stepping up into the pocket. He had a couple of those really good pocket manipulations throughout. But otherwise, as he admitted, a lot to work on, a lot of things that this first team offense needs to get going by. I would say, Of the first team unit, guys that shined to me there wasn't really a lot. But it was RJ Harvey was one that really stood out. I liked what I saw from him. I liked his ability to take runs that looked like they were going to be, no gains or maybe negatives and turn them into positive plays. I liked how he used his vision to bump it outside versus taking it in. So saw some good things from him. And then Troy Franklin, man, shout out to him. I thought he looked great. Bo missed him on one of the throws where he had gained some separation, came back, caught a really, really tough ball across the middle, showed good hands, showed good resolve, was really willing in the pass game as well. So you love to see that. Cortland Sutton struggled today. He did. You could have made the argument that he could have come down with that deep ball, but he had a really bad drop earlier. I think it was on the second possession as well. The whole first team, man, they'll get their things going. I'm not overly worried about it. But guys who shined overall, Tyler Badie, man. I understand why Sean Payton likes him. You can see that he's a very well-rounded back. His running style actually reminds me a lot of Phillip Lindsay from a runner because he's hesitant, he's patient, and then boom, he hits the hole. He can run between the tackles really well. He can bump it outside really well. The difference between him and what Phillip Lindsay brought is he's very good in the pass game as well. He's a good pass protector. So I might have to stop with this whole, Tyler Badie is going to make it on the practice squad, but he's going to be activated the first month. I don't think he's making it to the practice squad if we cut him. I think he's a lock for the 53 at this point, and you can understand why. Another guy that really stood out, Kris Abrams-Draine. I tell you what, man, this dude can play. He is sticky in coverage. It does not matter who he's going against. He had a beautiful interception that was taken back by a very clear Ioma Uwazurike penalty, hands to the face. But, man, he did a great job just locking guys down. He was tackling. He was knocking balls down. Big fan of his game. I think he's ready to take even another step forward in what he does. But shout out to Kris Abrams-Draine, man. I thought he looked fantastic. So kudos to him. Another guy that shined today, man, is Blake Watson. We got to have this conversation because y'all know how I feel about Blake, right? I think Blake Watson is a baller. I think he looks like he has put some size on. He was about 190-pound back. He looks well over that. He's a taller guy. Put some good weight in his lower body. Man, is he explosive. It seemed like every time he touched the ball, he was making the most out of the given situation. We know he's a very good pass catcher, as given the fact that he was a receiver before he transitioned to running back at Memphis. Man, I kept thinking the whole game when I was rewatching it today, I kept thinking if he gets cut, a team that he would make a lot of sense to make the roster on is the opponent that we played in the San Francisco 49ers. So look out for that. If Blake Watson doesn't make this team, I do not believe that he's making it to the practice squad. Specifically because he just seems like such a Shanahan-style running back. He really does. I think I might have mentioned that in the past. But it is pretty clear because, outside of Christian McCaffrey, the Niners really don't got much behind them. They don't have a guy that's a little bit more well-rounded, and that's kind of what he does. And so, yeah, he was definitely better than the guys that were playing. I know Jordan James didn't play today. He was one of the draft picks, but he was better than Amir Abdullah and Patrick Taylor and Keyshawn Vaughn and all those guys. He looks like he could be a lot better. So look out for Blake Watson to be somebody that I don't think will be able to sneak through the practice squad this year, especially if he keeps popping like he did. But I liked what I saw from him, and that bodes really bad for a guy named Estime, but we'll get to him. Other guys that shine, Karine Reed, man, I thought he had his moments. Here's my thing. He got a beautiful interception on an absolutely terrible decision and a terrible pass by the Niners, but it's the preseason, man. He got the opportunity. He made the play. Great catch. Awesome to see him out there. I thought he shined. And I thought the overall depth on this team really, really shined. I thought that it just showed, man, our second and our third teamers just dominated theirs. We got guys making plays all over the field. But I want to give a special shout out to two corners in particular. And this is something that I had highlighted that I was looking forward to watching in this game. Who in the secondary is going to pop off that we're not talking about at all? And it was both of the undrafted rookie free agents that we brought in to play corner. A cornerback is our most loaded position by far. I would be very shocked if at this point we don't end up trading somebody on the secondary because we are absolutely loaded. But Jaden Robinson and Joshua Pickett were absolutely balling, making plays every time I was watching them. Joshua Pickett, number 39. Jaden Robinson, number 33. They were out there just balling, man. They were out there making plays. I loved what I saw. Jaden Robinson was sticky in coverage. lots of PBUs, couple of really good plays by him that were taken away by penalties as well. That was kind of the name of the game a little bit. But I liked a lot what I had seen from him, man. I was a really, really big fan of that. No doubt about it. And Joshua Pickett was out there making plays too. He had an interception. Again, an easy opportunity, easy pick. But nonetheless, he made the play. So really big fan of what those guys look like. I thought that they were awesome. And it's always nice to see, random guys that you're not talking about go out there, get their opportunity, and shine, and play really, really well there. So, yeah, shout out to those guys. But really, really happy with what I had seen from Jaden Robinson. Again, number 33, and Joshua Pickett as well. Let me make sure I got the numbers right, because maybe Joshua Pickett is not. Pretty sure he was 39. Anyways. Yeah, number 39. So, love to see it. Thought those guys played really well. Those were kind of my guys who shined. Who struggled? Who didn't shine? First team offense, we talked about it. First team defense had its quirks, had its moments as well. But I'll give them a pass because I thought that they really showed their dominant ways in the final two drives. And the first one was a couple bad luck. But, man, Jeremy Crawshaw, we got to talk about it. He struggled tonight. And he had some opportunities. I think he had 3 punts. Averaged 37 yards. His long was a 50-yarder. They talked about him being very inconsistent. So are you going to freak out about a punter? No. But he needs a lot more reps. He needs a little bit more seasoning. And I think he's going to be somebody that gets better throughout the course of the season, but definitely got to get better. And I think special teams as a whole, I mean, Will Lutz we know is a baller, but special teams coverage was really disappointing too. And I know Darren Rizzi's going to get this fixed. I'm sure that there's a lot of, they're trying different guys at different positions, and it's a new scheme in terms of the coverage. So I expect for that to definitely get cleaned up before. But the special teams coverage, man, particularly both on punt and on kick coverage, was disappointing. So they did not go hand in hand. So definitely a lot of work to do there as well. Otherwise, I thought it was solid. It was great to see Broncos football again. I thought there was a lot of guys that played very well. A lot of the depth pieces. We showed that our roster construction, the depth at those the positions are just so much better than what they were in the past, which is awesome. It's going to make constructing the final 53 roster very difficult, and that's what you want from a team overall. And some quick takeaways from the game that I had noticed was, and these are not in any kind of order, but like Caden Prescorn playing fullback was really interesting to me because he didn't just play fullback. He played a lot of it. Now, Michael Burton, I guess, was banged up and hurt, but they could have also just wanted to get a bigger look at Prescorn, and I thought he played really well. I thought he was good at run blocking as a lead blocker. He scored a touchdown from fullback formation, kind of on a little out route, kind of shades of the old Mike Shanahan offenses that we used to run here. But I like that for him, because he's someone that can give you depth at tight end, which we need. But also, if he can fill a role, play fullback, I don't see any need for Michael Burton to be on this team. I like that a lot. Something to keep an eye on, consistently to see if he can keep doing that. Because let's face it, guys, I don't think that there's anything Michael Burton can do special. He's not like he's a special run blocking fullback that Caden Prescorn can't. But the benefits of having Prescorn is that he's bigger and he can give you more receiving chops and give you depth at tight end as you need. Courtney Jackson given the first special teams opportunity, not just as the kick returner opposite of Marvin Mims, but as a punt returner as well. So that was interesting. I thought he was fine. He had a really nice punt return where he made a guy miss and was able to get some yards. So that was good. He did not look very good on offense, though. Not at all. Struggled to gain separation. Had a fumble that was luckily recovered by the offense. So he struggled a little bit there, but that was interesting. Another takeaway for me, man, is Trent Sherfield is going to be a problem. He is not just going to be a special teamer for this team. He's going to contribute. Talk about the Lil Jordan Humphrey role. I see him doing a lot of that, but doing it way better. Out there blocking his ass off, but making plays, man. He looks explosive, fast, beautiful touchdown catch that he had today. I think he's going to be a very involved player on this team. So look out for number 5, Trent Sherfield, for sure. Another takeaway is Tyler Badie will make this team. He will make the 53, not just the practice squad. We talked about that. He is going to make the 53. I don't think that there's going to be a situation where we cut him and the team's not going to swoop him up. So look for that. He's loved among this coaching staff. he looked good. He looked good catching the ball. He looked good at pass protection. He looked good running the ball. He was a third down back once J.K. Dobbins, left, and he was a little limited, which I liked that they limited him. So Tyler Badie is going to have a major impact. Plus, he can play special teams. So as a running back, J.K. Dobbins, I think, is going to be, in that 1A, 1B rotation. He's the clear third down back, but Tyler Badie can play the third down back role as well. Interesting note here. The running back rotation. Now, we might not necessarily need to look into this too much because you never know with Sean Payton, but the rotation was interesting. Harvey started the game, which I think he expected. You wanted to get a long look. Then they sprinkled in some Dobbins. Then Tyler Badie came in as the main guy. And they mixed in a little bit of Jaleel. And then they brought in Blake Watson and then Audric Estime after that. So, listen, right now, the way it's looking is that it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really tough for Audric Estime to make this team, especially because guys like Blake Watson shined. Guys like Tyler Badie shined, right? Jaleel is kind of Jaleel. He's going to be interesting. He might not be a lock for this roster either. You love the person. You love some of the things that he can do. But I think Badie and Watson can do them too. And they can both do it better in the passing game. That's going to be interesting. Another thing that stuck out to me is there was a post-game comments made by Audric that I thought was really negative. I did not like it. They finally asked him, because it was the media's first opportunity to ask him about the benching in New York, in Buffalo, in the playoff game last year. And he just says no comment. And apparently was really irritated by the question. Here's my thing. I get it. That's in the past. But it's easy to just be like, listen, yeah, obviously that was frustrating, but it is what it is. It's a new season. I'm looking ahead. And that's it. That's all you got to say. Instead, he just says no comment, and he looks like he's pouting about it. And he always looks like, I don't like the negativity. I know it's something small, but you got to look into those things because it's not just very telling in terms of where somebody's headspace might be at, but those are things Sean Payton doesn't like. So it's looking more and more bleak for Audric Estime. And I think I'm willing to get to the point now where I think it might take a miracle for him to make this team. And the miracle being in maybe somebody wants to look at making a trade for Jaleel or for Blake Watson. We'll see. There's a team that's looking for a bottom of the roster running back, but can play special teams and can fill in. We got some guys for you. Here in Denver. But it might get to the point now where Audric might just need a fresh start too. He might just need a fresh start for himself. So we'll see, man. It's upsetting because I kind of, I planted my flag a little bit on Audric, but hey, it's not a bad thing because it was really a result of the other guys popping off. But we'll see. There's still 2 preseason games to go. There's a lot of practices. There's a whole bunch. I don't even think we're technically halfway through camp, if you guys want to think about it that way. So anybody that's panicking, and I do not miss you guys on Broncos Twitter, man. Some of y'all just be saying some stuff, and I'm like, if you really believe that, you're crazy. And otherwise, I just feel like you're trying to troll. There's a lot of trolls out there. So watch out for the trolls. There is nothing to worry about today's game. If the Broncos first team went out there and they dominated, it would be like, cool. Doesn't really matter. It's preseason. So when they don't do well, you got to have the same mindset. Doesn't really matter. It's preseason, right? Bo Nix in the offense against, I think, the Vikings last year looked great. They looked like they were fine-tuned. They were ready to go. And we started the season off slowly. So it doesn't really matter. Got to work out the kinks. I think that they will. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to have some more takeaways tomorrow, probably on Horsepower Hour that I didn't break down today. But very interesting stuff. We'll talk about some of the PFFs too. I'm sure my guy David or Kodiak will have that on their channels as well. Let me know your thoughts overall below, man. Who shined for you? Who struggled? And I'd love to hear what you guys think about it in the comments. But until the next video, go Broncos, baby. And peace out.